If you're a woman over 40 and you've noticed that weight seems to collect around your midsection in a way it never used to before, you're not imagining it. How could we imagine that? I'm Kelly Cole, and I'm a holistic health practitioner, and I am here to talk to you today about that wonderful belly fat that we are all struggling with, that we all have to do certain things in order to avoid. Many women reach a point in their late 30s or 40s where they look down and think, where did this belly come from? Maybe you're eating similarly to how you always have, and you're thinking, why? Why have things changed? Maybe you're even exercising more. We'll talk about that one later. And yet, the area around the waist seems more stubborn than ever. What makes this especially frustrating is that many women begin to feel like they must be doing something wrong. They blame themselves. They think they've lost discipline. But in many cases, what's actually happening is that the body is moving through a series of natural hormonal shifts that can change how fat is stored and energy is regulated. Today, I want to walk through what may be happening in the body during this stage of life and where the cascade often begins, and a few simple lifestyle shifts that many people find helpful in supporting metabolic balance. As always, this video is for educational purposes only and is not medical advice. I am not a doctor, I do not claim to be a doctor, and I will not diagnose, and I do not diagnose. Everyone's health situation is unique, so if you have specific health concerns, it's important to speak with a qualified healthcare professional. So with that said, let's talk about what might be going on here. One of the biggest changes many women experience after 40 involves shifting hormone patterns, and sometimes it starts before then. During the years leading into menopause, the body gradually begins producing less estrogen and less progesterone. These hormones influence many systems in the body, including metabolism, appetite signals, and stress responses. As estrogen levels fluctuate and eventually decline, the body can become more sensitive to another hormone that you've probably heard about since everybody's talking about it, and that would be cortisol, often referred to as the body's primary stress hormone. Cortisol is not a bad hormone. It plays an essential role in helping the body respond to challenges. Let's call them challenges. But when cortisol remains elevated for long periods of time, it can influence how the body manages energy and fat storage. Many researchers have observed that higher stress levels can sometimes be associated with increased fat storage around the abdominal area. Go figure. In other words, the body may begin storing energy differently than it did in younger years. So there's this insulin and cortisol interaction that we also need to be aware of, and another important piece of the puzzle. And that involves insulin, a hormone that helps regulate blood sugar. We know that. We know that insulin is for blood sugar regulation. But when cortisol levels rise, whether from emotional stress, poor sleep, or other factors, your husband could be snoring, and that could be keeping you awake, and that could be causing a rise. Something very simple like that. The body can become less efficient at managing blood sugar levels. When the blood sugar fluctuates frequently throughout the day, the body releases insulin to help those levels come back into balance. Over time, repeated spikes in insulin may influence how easily the body stores or uses energy from food. This is one reason many people notice that belly fat becomes more stubborn during periods of high stress or inconsistent sleep. It's not simply about calories, it's about how the body is interpreting the signals it receives from the environment. Modern lifestyle can amplify the problem. One factor that many people don't consider is how modern lighting environments can influence the body's internal rhythms. Yes, it can be simple like lighting. Maybe you're surrounded by blue light all day, maybe you're surrounded by blue light all night. For most of human history, our daily patterns were guided by natural sunlight during the day and darkness at night. This kept things in alignment. Today, however, many people spend long hours indoors under artificial lighting, all blue, in fact, there's no spectrum there, it's just blue, and then continue exposing their eyes to bright screens late into the evening. Some researchers believe that excessive exposure to artificial light at night may disrupt circadian rhythms, the internal timing system that influences sleep, hormones, and metabolism. When circadian rhythms are disrupted, sleep quality may suffer. Poor sleep can influence both cortisol and appetite regulation the following day. Over time, this pattern may make it more difficult for the body to maintain metabolic balance. The role of muscle and protein is important as well, something that we also need to consider. And often that shifts after 40. Muscle mass decreases. Muscle plays an important role in how the body uses energy. As people age, muscle mass naturally tends to decline unless it is intentionally supported through nutrition and activity. This is why it was hard to get Aunt Pearl up off the floor when we were kids and she got down on the floor to play a game with us. One reason many experts emphasize adequate protein intake is that the protein provides building blocks the body uses to maintain muscle and support recovery. This is vital as we age. Many people also find that meals containing sufficient protein help them feel fuller and more satisfied, which can reduce the urge to snack frequently throughout the day. So while nutritional needs vary from person to person, increasing protein slightly and focusing on healthy fats is one strategy many people experiment with when trying to support metabolic health. The nervous system connection is another thing that we need to consider. It's a huge piece of the conversation that is gaining attention in recent years, and it involves the nervous system. When the body spends long periods in a state of stress, whether emotional, physical, or psychological, the nervous system can remain in a heightened alert state. Many of us going through perimenopause notice that hormones have dropped that have actually enabled us to be more tolerant of things, so that can also help us feel more stressed out. Some people explore practices often called somatic work, which may include breath work, gentle movement, or body awareness exercises designed to help the nervous system shift toward a calmer state, which is pretty important when we're going through perimenopause, am I right? So many individuals report that when stress responses begin to settle down, sleep improves, energy stabilizes, cravings become more manageable. It's amazing. While these practices are not medical treatments, they are increasingly explored as supportive tools for overall well-being. A few simple things you might experiment with if you're noticing that belly fat has become more stubborn after 40 are some simple lifestyle shifts that many people find helpful to explore. So first of all, consider reducing bright artificial light exposure late at night. Simple steps like dimming lights in the evening or limiting screen time before bed may help support healthy sleep rhythms. Second, many people experiment with increasing protein at meals, particularly earlier in the day. Balanced meals that include protein and healthy fats often help people feel more satisfied and maintain steadier energy throughout the day. So third, consider incorporating gentle stress regulation practices. Stress is one of the biggest causes here, guys, or shall I say gals, such as breathing exercises, stretching, or short walks outdoors. These small moments of calm can help counterbalance the constant stimulation of modern life, which we are all surrounded by. None of these steps are magic solutions, but many people find that when they begin addressing stress, sleep, and nourishment together, they start to feel meaningful improvements in their energy and daily rhythms. The bigger picture is belly fat after 40 is rarely the result of one single issue. There's usually multiple issues involved. So it's often the result of a cascade of small shifts, hormonal changes, stress patterns, sleep disruption, and lifestyle habits that gradually influence how the body stores and uses energy. The encouraging news is that small changes in daily habits can sometimes have a surprisingly positive effect over time. And perhaps the most important message I want to leave you with today is this. If your body feels different after 40, that's because it is, and it doesn't mean it's working against you. It often simply means the body's responding to a new stage of life and may benefit from a slightly different approach to nutrition, stress management, and daily rhythms. If this topic resonates with you, I share more educational conversations like this here on the channel. And if you're interested in exploring these lifestyle strategies in a more structured way, I have created a small community where we discuss practical habits that support metabolic wellness step by step. I look forward to meeting you there. You can find more information about that in the description below. And thank you for spending this time with me today, and I'll see you next time.